Hello, this is JWard, and this is my Lesson 6 assignment, The Dark Side of the Internet, and I am doing it on invasive apps. So what is an app? An app or an application is a program that can be used on an electronic device. Think of this as a computer, tablet, or a smartphone. For purposes today, we're going to talk about mobile apps. So apps can have a wide variety of uses. JWard says there are 6 defining categories for mobile apps. They are lifestyle, social media, utility, games and entertainment, productivity, news and information outlets. Some apps will overlap into multiple categories depending on the user's usage. For example, lifestyle apps are going to be things like Yelp, Pandora, Google Maps, something that supports an individual's lifestyle. This will be finding a restaurant or help finding a destination. The next and most popular type of application is social media. Facebook, for example, reports having over 1 billion daily active users. Also, Instagram, Snapchat, Pinterest are also examples of social media apps. Utility apps are usually going to be those apps that are pre-installed on your devices, like calculators, flashlights, and basic weather apps. Games and entertainment make up the second most popular type of app. The most successful types of gaming apps are highly addictive and they draw users into playing them multiple times daily, or they could offer incentives each time you log in. Candy Crush is a great example of a highly addictive, very popular game, and so is Pokemon Go. Other apps that are productivity apps are going to help the user accomplish a task. This is going to be apps that can be based solely online, Google Docs and Slides, or something like Evernote. The final type of app that JWard defines is going to be a news and information outlet app that's going to provide the user with some information, whether it's based on news or entertainment, like the Washington Post, NPR, or Twitter. Twitter is an example of an app that is across social media and news. So apps have terms and conditions. When you download and install an app, you automatically agree to the terms and conditions of the app. This is usually listed in the App Store or under Details. Most users do not read the T&C in detail, and most app developers know that. Because the average user doesn't read through the T&C, they may have agreed to more than they thought. Thanks to the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, newer apps are more transparent with that extra permission they are requesting. When you install an app or an app update from Google's Play Store, for instance, you get a pop-up listing all the permissions it requires. This could include permissions to access your text messages, phone call details, media files, etc. Apps need access to specified content on your phone to fulfill their functionality. A picture editing app will require access to your phone camera and media files to be able to edit pictures saved in your phone or to take a new picture that it can edit, but several are unlikely unnecessary. So most smart users will make sure to be aware of the permissions they are granting to their apps. Some app permissions make sense. A picture editing app will need access to the camera and photos, but the flashlight app should not need access to your location. App permissions have been a controversial topic in recent years, with much of the early attention focused on the language around Google's Android permissions. Android and now iOS offer fairly similar controls around app permissions, but it's not uncommon during the installation of a mobile app to see a request to access your phone's location data, SMS messaging, microphone, or camera, even when the app doesn't have an obvious need for that access. The great thing is, users can check the permissions of an app at any time. App permissions can be checked. By Android, go to Settings and Apps. In iOS, Settings and Privacy. Tap the app on its info screen. Click the permissions. Then you can view the list. It's not a bad idea to examine these regularly, as apps tend to get updates and sometimes they change their permissions. Suggestions for maintaining some user privacy. Limit your device time. The less time you spend on devices, the less time you're accessing those extra permissions. Check your permissions regularly. Also checks for apps that run in the background. Sometimes an app will only ask to use your location while you are using it. If an app needs 24/7 access, that might be something you want to think about. Make sure to be an educated user. Check out this YouTube and watch people's reactions when they actually read the permissions that they're approving.
Do I think that data privacy is a serious issue? It's not like on the front of my mind.
I think we are pretty secure.
I don't feel too threatened. I'm just like, allow. I agreed to let this app change my device's call log, including incoming and outgoing calls data. So why would they want to change my call log? Do you have any idea?
I allowed this app to record audio at any time without my confirmation. That's pretty terrible.
This may allow the app to share or save my calendar data, regardless of confidentiality or sensitivity.
It's offensive.
I give this app permission to modify calendar events and send emails without my knowledge.
I give the app permission to read my text messages.
Read my text messages?
Read my text messages. What?
I allow this app to modify my contacts.
Modify my contact.
Modify my contact. That's scary.
I give this app permission to read my personal profile information.
Give the app permission to use my precise location. That's not something that I think anybody else needs to know.
I agree to let this app automatically turn off airplane mode.
Turn off airplane mode.
Is that real? That's insane.
I give this app permission to read all data about calls on my device.
Why would they do that?
That I'm actually kind of surprised about.
And these are real?
Is that true? Oh my god.
Oh, thank you for alerting me to all this. Really bad.
I feel like I'm giving over my life to an app. I should probably start to read these things.
Pretty surprising. These are my references. And thank you for watching. I hope you learned something.